Hi YouTube. I'm again back with my little new microphone, so I'm hoping that it's working. I think that it was working in the last video the whole time. There was a couple times where I was like, I'm not sure that this is working, but we'll see. Um, I just need to get in the habit of checking this stuff now. So we'll see how it goes in this video. But I am back with you guys to actually go over to the office and print out our March birth flowers. There are two that we need to print out, so we're going to go over and do that. I'm hoping that by the time this video comes out, I've already attempted live streaming um, on YouTube and drawing my new stickers with you guys during that, but if not, that will still be happening. We'll just have to see which order these things go in. But yes, today we're going to be going over to the office and printing out our new March flowers. And I am still moving stuff out of the office to move into a new office, so I'll probably be taking some more stuff from there today. So it's gonna still just slowly become more bare as I do that. Um, so just fair warning that it is starting to have less stuff in it. But let us go ahead and head on over there. That's enough of my little preamble, and we can go ahead and get started on those prints. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm at the office and I'm going to show you guys our March art prints. But I actually wanted to say that I think in the last video for the prints, well actually, I guess it wouldn't have been the last video, but for the December prints, there was a flower called the Narcissus. Um, and I said that that was similar to a daffodil. And actually, when doing these March art prints, I realized that I was a little bit inaccurate with that. Um, because, well, I guess not inaccurate, I just didn't fully understand what I was telling you guys. Um, so I wanted to say that because whenever I show you guys the March flowers, did you see that hair just like fly past me? Uh, sorry. When I show you guys the March flowers, you will see that actually they are a daffodil and a jonquil. And so I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about that kind of whole deal with the narcissus and the daffodils. So I'll flip you guys around so that you can be looking at our March flowers while I kind of explain that to you guys. So here is the daffodil on the left and the jonquil on the right. And so whenever I told you guys that the narcissus is similar to a daffodil, um, narcissus is actually the family that daffodils and jonquils and the type of narcissus that I did fall into for flowers. So daffodils are narcissus, but and jonquils are narcissus, but the flower that I drew for December is not a daffodil and a jonquil. it is a type of narcissus, but narcissus itself, the word narcissus, is the family that all of those flowers fall into. And you can see that they're all very similar. I can even pull up actually our December um, flower so that you can see what it is I'm talking about. If you guys remember our narcissus flower for December, if not, here it is. And then I'll just show you guys again. These are our daffodil on the left, our jonquils on the right, and then there is the narcissus. So they all look very similar, and I actually had a hard time figuring out how I wanted to do the daffodil and the jonquil for March after doing a little more research and making that discovery, um, because there's it's hard to differentiate between a daffodil and a jonquil. Daffodils are larger than jonquils, was one of the things that I discovered. So I wanted to make sure that I kind of showcased that in these. And then also, daffodils, I know most people, whenever they picture a daffodil, they think of a yellow flower. Um, my daffodil already is a little paler than I feel like some people, when picturing it, think of. Um, because actually, I do have a daffodil sticker. And so this daffodil is basically the sticker, but as a full stem instead of just the flower head. Um, and I did it pale with a dark yellow center. Um, but I didn't want to just do the exact opposite of that for the jonquils. Um, and some of the jonquils that I saw, they do come in white, but I ended up finding this variant of a jonquil that I really actually liked a lot, which is a yellow yellow petaled flower with a white center, a white trumpet center to it. And so I wanted to try that because I also thought that that kind of um, further tied it all together with the narcissus, because the narcissus, as you see, I did a white flower and a dark, dark, almost orange kind of color um, for its trumpeted center, because that was what I was seeing whenever I was doing research for it, was mostly just white flowers. And again, I didn't want to do a white on white. And I found this variant that had a dark yellowish orange center for it. And since our daffodil already has a dark yellow center, I didn't want to do something too similar on the jonquil to either one of them. I wanted it to still obviously be different, but from the same family. So this is what I ended up with. And I hope that that all makes sense to you guys. And then, as you guys might recall from other videos, the way that I do our birth flower prints is that I put them in this oval, and the oval I end up doing the birth colors for that month. So for March, it was, I believe, aquamarine, not teal. I believe it was aquamarine. And then it was kind of a lime green color. So this is how they ended up. And I hope that you guys think that that is really cool. And we'll have to print them out and see how the colors turn out on them. As you might know from last video, or if you're new, you might not know, I end up making my print on my computer a lot brighter than what it actually prints out as, because that seems like that's how my computer and my printer communicate to each other, is that my printer prints it a little bit darker than what I would like it to be. So to combat that, I purposefully make my art a little bit brighter, and then when I print it out, I hope that it comes out the color that I'm wanting it to be. So we will go ahead and make some test prints of our daffodil and jonquil and see what kind of adjustments we might need to do for them. I guess I'll just go ahead. I'll start. Guess I'll start with the daffodil. Let's do the daffodil first. I'll print that one out, and then we will take a look at it and decide what kind of adjustments we think it needs. So I will go print that one out, and I will be right back. I don't like videoing the process of it printing out because it is loud printer noises, so I will cut back to whenever it is already printed out. Our daffodil just printed out, and I went ahead and I hung it up, and it is, I think, very close to being how I want it to be already. There's only maybe two adjustments I can think of looking at it that I would do. But yeah, I'm happy with how it looks. I will go ahead and flip you guys around so you can see what it is that I am seeing. Here is the daffodil, and I think that it printed out pretty close to how I want it to print out. The only two adjustments that I can think of are maybe punching up the highlight on the stems potentially, and then maybe darkening the shadows on the petals of the flowers in the yellow. I think that the shadow in the trumpet center, the orangish center, I think is fine. I don't think that I need to touch that at all. I think maybe the shadows on the petals themselves, and then maybe the highlight on the stem of the daffodil. Not these really bright white that you can see, but the underneath highlight. I have two layers of highlights that I do. That brighter one that you see is what I call the shine, and then there's underneath it a layer of what I just call highlight. And so I think the highlight layer I would punch up a little bit more, but the shine I think is good, so that one I wouldn't touch. Those are the only two adjustments that I can think of because everything else I think came out how I want it to come out. So I might just leave this one like this for right now and print out our jonquil and see how that one looks, and then do the adjustments for either one then. So I'm going to take this one down because I'm happy with how that first go at that went. Those are the only two adjustments I can think of, and those are small ones, so I don't feel like I need to go ahead and print it out right this second with its adjustments. I want to go ahead and see how the jonquil looks. So I will come back whenever we have the jonquil printed out. I feel like that one might have more that I want to change, but I'll print it out and we'll look at it and we'll see how that goes. So I will be back in just a second to show you guys our jonquils. Okay guys, I just hung up the jonquils and I have to tell you that I am so pleasantly surprised. I don't think that there's anything I want to change. I'm going to show you guys, and I hope that you guys are thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, because I really think that it might be how I want it to be. So I am going to pan you guys up and take a look at it, and I know you can't actually tell me what you think in real time, but just send it to me. Send it to me from the future to the past. What do you guys think of these jonquils? I think that these came out so good. I'm actually really happy with how they look. I think that they look so pretty. Um, I didn't actually even know that jonquils were a flower before doing this. I know that there's a bunch of different daffodils that you can get and breed and cultivate, um, but I didn't realize there was like the daffodil was in the narcissus family and all of that, and that there's jonquils, which are technically like a smaller version of daffodils that come in almost the exact same colors as daffodils, honestly. Um, but like when I saw this one, I just thought that this variant was so pretty, and I'm really happy with how it looks as a print. I think that the green came out exactly how I wanted the green to come out on the background. I don't think there's anything I need to change on that. White is hard to print out and put highlights and stuff on, so I'm not super like sad about not being able to see the highlights on that. Um, I did use a little bit of a different white than with the Narcissus um, print, because on that one I actually shifted it slightly gray, um, so that you could see the highlights, because the whole flower itself was white and I didn't want it to look really flat. Um, but on these, since it's the trumpet center of the jonquils that are white, um, I have them being a little bit off-white. They could still be even more off-white, honestly, so that you could see the highlights. But I don't think that that is necessary to do, honestly, on them. Because also, I do think that the shadows for the centers are coming out nicely. They're maybe a little bit subtle for the camera to pick up. I don't know if you guys can see the shadows or not on it. Um, but the cream color that I used for the white, I had it shifted more to the yellows than to the like gray um, of the narcissus. And I think that that is really helping with these because it's making the shadows come out more of a creamy yellow, which I like. I like the color of the stem I did for them because, again, I didn't want to just repeat colors from the narcissus and the daffodils. So all three of these prints um, all have different colors. Like the stem between all three of them are completely different greens. The white, as I just told you, between the narcissus and the jonquils are different, and then the yellows that I used for all of them are also different. Um, because while they look the same, I wanted them to still be their own unique print and unique flower that they are. So I think that the colors I chose for this one came out really nicely. I'm happy about that. I don't think that I need to do anything on it. I could again, maybe, I don't even know if I really would mess with the highlights on the stems for this one, honestly. I think that the highlights on the petals look nice. I don't know what you guys think. I think that they're a little bit brighter on the camera, actually, the highlight. Um, I don't mind that. But let me put up our daffodil next to our jonquil, just so that we can be looking at them both in the same kind of light and see what we're thinking. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. I do think I need to do the shadows on the yellow petals of the daffodil a little bit darker. Um, and I might go ahead and do the highlights on the stems of the daffodil, like I said I was thinking about. Let me step back a little bit more. I think really it's just the daffodil I might mess around with. I don't really feel like I need to do anything for the jonquil. So I guess let me go and mess around with the daffodil, and then I'll come back with another one of those. I'm happy with the jonquil though, which is, like I said, a pleasant surprise because I thought that it might would need more adjusting than the daffodil, but it seems to be the opposite, which I'm fine with. So let me go make those adjustments and we will print out the new one. All right, I made those adjustments to the daffodil and this is not it. I don't know why it came out looking like this, but this is not how I want it to look. The Highlights are better, but let me just flip it around so that you guys can see the shadows. I don't know if you're gonna find them as humorous as I do, but it just somehow when I adjusted it and then I printed them out, the shadows just did not communicate with each other the way that I wanted them to. So let me flip you guys around so that you can see how it looks. It's just, this is not the final one, okay? This is not it. So don't worry. This is not the final one. So on the camera from this um distance away, it kind of looks okay. Um but yeah, when I come up closer, it's just, it is very harsh. Um and they came out kind of a gross color, honestly. It's like a weird gray. It's like a almost like a green gray color on the pale yellow, and it makes the center look really funny looking. Um it looks okay on this little tiny bud that's trying to grow and bloom out, but on the main flower, it just, I don't know what happened. So I need to try again. I will do some adjusting on those shadows some more. Try to get it away from that weird color that happened. Um, it definitely does need the depth though. If we overlook the color of the shadows, I do think that it helps with the overall, like I said, the depth of the flower, and the little bud. So I do think that I need to punch those up. I need to deepen those shadows. Just, they don't need to be deepened this way. The highlights, I don't know if you guys can tell the difference a whole lot. But I think that just making those the underneath of the highlights on the stem did help. So I think that it looks better stem wise, and maybe adding the shadows in the right color um, will also help just make the piece feel more lively, so that it doesn't really matter. The highlights were a little more subtle, but I will go play around with the shadow color some more, and then I will come back to you guys with hopefully the fixed shadows. So this is not it, but definitely we do need the darker shadows. So let me print out our third attempt at this daffodil, and I will be back momentarily with that result. Okay, this one I think is it. Um, I might still have the shadow around the center a little bit too dark, maybe. But you might be able to tell that the shadow color itself is a lot better. I definitely prefer this one over our first, or I guess I should say our second daffodil attempt that we did. I do still think that the shadow on the bud from the one on the right, our second attempt one, looked fine. Um, but I do like this newest one over here a little bit more. as you could see, I was able to get the highlight, or not the highlight, the shadow to go more into the orangey yellow, I guess I would say, which fits our daffodil a lot more than that weird, gross gray that was happening in the in that second attempt. So I think I I don't know. Let me take this one down and we'll put up our jonquil next to our daffodil and we will see how we feel about it next to our one that we like. Here we go. Yep. I think that that's it. I think that that is that's how I want it to be. I could honestly probably adjust the highlights on the stem even more so on the daffodil, but I don't know if it's enough to actually fool with or not. Um, I think that the flower though, it looks a lot better. It kind of matches the same depth as the jonquils and kind of how I've been doing my other flowers overall. So I think these are the final ones of our March birth flower prints. Our jonquil was a one and done. We didn't have to do any adjusting on those. And our daffodil only took three tries. So that was a pretty successful um, printing session that we did. So I'm happy with that. I need to kind of gather up a little bit more of my office and get it a little bit more ready for making the transition to my new office. But as you see, I got everything off the shelf up there so I can take them down. I actually went ahead and I took out all of my stickers from over here. They're still organized. I just have them kind of in a bag. Not like it's I guess kind of like a gift bag, but it's like a sturdy bag. So when I reach in there, I can still figure out which one I'm grabbing. Um, this desk is a mess because I just kind of took stuff off of this shelf that I didn't want to pack up and take to the new office onto the desk um, for right now. But I will need to get everything off of this desk so I can take it with me and take this table with me. Um, but yeah, I'm still slowly gathering things up. This table was still the first one to go. Um, as you can see, my dad has put one of his extra computers in here because he's gonna be taking over this room because they don't need two guest rooms. They only need one guest room. So my old room is going to become, I have no idea what. I don't know entirely what this room will end up being, but this is technically would be considered, I guess, the master in their upstairs of the house. It just doesn't have an attached suite, like bathroom suite, like um, the main master downstairs has, and like most master bedrooms have. So it doesn't, I guess, it um, doesn't have to stay as the master bedroom kind of deal up here. And like I said, they don't need two guest rooms. So my dad has started throwing, as you can see, a bunch of his tech stuff in here because he is a computer engineer, and as you might be able to guess, that entails him owning a lot of tech. So as I clean out, he kind of uncleans it, as as one might say, where he puts in his stuff while I take my stuff out. And it's just kind of funny because it does sometimes inhibit my ability to still utilize this room slightly um as my office while I transition offices, but it's not that bad. You see I have to put my laptop behind my Cricut, which is fine because we were just doing art prints, but when I need to use my Cricut, I have to like move all this stuff over here off so that I could put my computer somewhere so that I can use it, but it's okay. Once I have everything moved out that I need, it won't really matter what he puts in here. So that's kind of a little bit of an update, I guess, on um, where the office stands currently. So yeah, but anyway, our our birth flowers are done for March, and we're done at the office today for recording. So I will go ahead and head on over to an outro for you guys, and I guess kind of lay out maybe what you'll be seeing next. And I guess depending on if this goes up before or after I live stream, um, you will either have already seen the new stickers because you will have been there whenever I design them, or I will um, I'll go ahead and tell you what to be looking forward to in the next video for printing out those stickers and tell you what they are. So let us jump over to our outro now. Alright, back in my little recording corner. This is the end of the video. Like I've been saying this whole time, um, I'm not sure if I've live streamed before this video comes out, or if I'll be live streaming after this video comes out. But in that video, I will have, or that live stream, I will have designed our 3 new reptile/amphibians to make stickers for. And that will be the next video, will be printing and cutting out the stickers for those um, reptiles and amphibians that we've done. But they are the white and black tegu, which is our lizard we're going to be doing, the ornate box turtle, and then the red-eyed tree frog is our amphibian that we will be doing stickers for in our next video. So if you are excited to see any of those 3 and how they come out as stickers, then please come back to the channel to see um, that process. And if I have done the live stream, then you can go and check that out. And if I haven't done it yet, then keep an eye open for that if you want to join me while I do my process of drawing a sticker with you guys. And you can kind of see the behind the scenes with the live stream. I'm planning on it being um, kind of a recurring thing that I do where I live stream my process and I just chat with you guys. And if you have questions, answer those. And also, you know, obviously, um, be drawing the stickers, but maybe just chilling with you guys, listening to some royalty free background music so you guys can put on the stream and just chill out with me, do your own stuff, have it on in the background, or be engaged in it, whichever way you prefer to watch those kind of live streams. Um, that is what's going to be happening in the future. If you liked this video, though, and liked how the March flowers, our daffodil and jonquil, came out, then please leave a like on this video. If you want to join me for more of my content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I do upload or live stream and you don't miss it. I will have down in the description below links to all of my social medias and my shops. I'm testing out um, different ways of selling things. So I have Redbubble, I have my Etsy that I started with, and then I do now have a Shopify. I have a TikTok and a Instagram that you can go follow where I do different content than what you're seeing here. Here is more of my drawing and printing process, whereas Instagram's going to be a little more of the kind of day in life of doing stuff, and then also um, posting whenever there is something new on the shop. TikTok is my packaging orders, and again, announcing whenever there is new stuff going on with the shops. If you have your own thoughts on how things went in this video or what you'd like to see in the future, then please feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section below. I enjoy hearing people's thoughts on anything, really. It can be related to the video or it can just be you saying hi. So please don't forget to do that as well. That's everything that I am supposed to say at the end, I believe. So I will see you guys in our next video. Bye, YouTube!